do. I nailed it. Boop, 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 boop. That was terrible.
Well, whatever. I tried.
You're embarrassing me in front of Lord Callous. There's so many people streaming right now.
Yeah, but there's only one that matters.
Oh, I like that. Whose is that?
I'm here.
Yeah, I was going to say, not my show.
Hey, can I start with like a rap again?
You can totally start with a rap again.
I forgot to change my rap name to Matt Cavelli.
You can change it right now.
I'm changing it right now.
Ba-doop-ba-doo.
How do you spell Matt Cavelli?
Oh my God. No production value with this show.
Here, I got it. Matt Cavelli. Don't start it yet.
No, we got one more intro. Maybe 3. I don't know. We're going to work on it.
I don't care for the audio in this.
I don't do it. Has nothing to do with me.
How many more intros do we have?
Until we lose everybody in the chat, I'll just keep doing
that feels
intros.
more like an outro.
What are you going to do? We got some great people in the chat. We got Eric K and we got Mark. Those guys are like big names in the chat world.
And
we got Brightest Day. And do I have Wrench?
No, you need to give good wrench. That's all.
Hey, I've never been told that. Gap Stargate. This is what I like to see. Hello, everybody. I so look forward to the stream every Saturday night. I totally forgot to watch the OC, bro.
Oh no.
Sorry, but let's introduce our guest. We have a member of the Dark Council, one of my favorite quick clip Star Wars info man around. That is Lord Callous TV. How are you doing, my man?
I'm well. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
Thank you for being here. I really do appreciate it. You're the final Dark Council member to make it on my channel, so I am so proud. Yeah, it is. It is an honor for us, man. It really is. Your knowledge of Star Wars. I mean, those guys are just, clowns on the Dark Council compared to you when it comes to Star Wars.
Don't say that.
Come on. No, Abanas knows his stuff. Abanas knows his stuff. We'll also,
I have to take a back seat to Fatal when it comes to DC, and then Drunk when it comes to Marvel. So we all have a position.
I see. Look at you. You're like political. That's good. No, you all have your strengths, and that's true.
Exactly.
And I didn't get to be on the show with you that week. They had me on a couple weeks ago. I love being on there. You guys are a lot of fun.
Yeah, we try.
You do a good job at it. Somebody who doesn't have fun, Mad Chiavelli.
My name is Matt Cavelli, and I'm here to say you only think I'm gay because of my happiness. I mixed that up. That's okay, because I'll keep repping till another day. Word up.
Oh, for shizzle. Culture Casino.
Beat that, Culture.
Greetings, everybody. Welcome to the show. Thank you for being here. We wouldn't be here without you. We have a great guest this evening.
You just look like shit right now. You look like my camera usually looks like.
What do you got that on, like 180p?
180p. Thank you for being here, Culture. How is everybody? Let's say hello to the chat. I don't know what is up with the color contrast, but I look like I have a darker beard. Like I put in like some type of, what is that shit called? What do they color?
Beard coloring?
See it. I could see the damn box too. I just don't.
Just for Martigan.
Just for Martigan. That's it.
Oh, just for men.
I want to read this one more time. Hey everybody, I still look forward to the stream every Saturday night. At least somebody does. Grumpy old ninja Kantaro Ahoy says hola and hail. Mark is one of the best. He's been supporting me since the beginning. Also, Keely Chow has.
Keely.
Yeah, Keely's everywhere.
Yeah,
Keely everywhere. Brightest Day. Hey, yo. How you doing, Brightest Day?
Hello.
Still one of my favorite stories. Met him at a Geeks and Gamers meetup and realized we work for the same company.
Yeah, like right across the bay.
Yeah, right across the river, dick.
Sorry.
Eric K in the house. Who else? The lovely Sherry. How you doing? That is a great avatar, Sherry. I'm liking. Oh God, nerd cookies.
Don't do it.
Cookies.
She thought I was stalking her because I showed up on every stream she was on. I was like, hey, whatever. Hey, when's the next time you're gonna, come down from your high horse, nerd cookies, and join us plebes down here? Please, really, a Monday night would be awesome on my solo show, Going Spork Deep.
Wow.
That doesn't sound good when you say that like that.
Speaking of which, when Nerd Cookies is here, we have a special button.
No, we do not.
Yes, we do. This is for Nerd Cookies.
Disrespectful.
And, it is a reminder. I've been here when it was glory hole days, and I've been here when it wasn't. And so, having said that, I want me some glory hole.
Shit.
That happened, Lord Callous. That happened in real life.
This is our year, baby. This is our year.
Oh, come on. It is
right here,
not.
I can feel it.
I have been hearing that mess from you for 2 years now.
Well, now this is it. This is the one.
You know what? You are one of those people that go out and buy the new Madden game, aren't you? Every time it comes out.
Why do you always got to bring that up?
It's a great game, though.
No, it's not.
Did I tell you what happened to my? All right, so I have a PlayStation 4. I just got NBA 2K 22 or 2K, whatever that one is. 22. Like, I love that game. I've been playing it for like 6 years now, and my freaking PlayStation died. So I literally spent the money, and it died like that. I was like making my guy. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. I'm not 6'4" anymore. It's just not fair. It's not fair. Mad's Mama Bear. You know why she's here. Yeah, Mads loves you.
Salute, Mads.
She's amazing. She has a great channel, everybody. If you don't know Mads, she's a great artist. Her and Makini Draws, two of my favorite artists out there, and they're both really good people, so please check them out. We also want to check out RevKev. Kev has a TikTok, and I started following
a
TikTok, or no, I have to be older than that. The TikTok, everything with a the. He started a fitness journey when he hit 50. I want to say he could barely bend over. The dude now teaches yoga like in less than a year. It's really impressive. Amazing, Callous, amazing. And he's going to be on the show Monday night talking about that. So please, guys, make sure you support that one. Marby Dog is here. You got a football team, Callous? You into football?
Not in years. Not in years. Yeah.
No.
But your default would be the Cowboys?
No.
My default would have been the Giants.
Oh God.
Oh,
yeah. I'm New York. I'm New York.
Respect, man. I'm a New England boy. So Mac Jones. Andy Masterson is here. Andy, always good to see you. Who else we have? I'm just waiting for more people to show up. We got about 24 people in the chat.
I forgot that was the quarterback's name. I thought you were doing Mike Jones from.
No, I wasn't with the number. Remember, you used to have his phone number.
Yeah.
I called it.
Did you? Yeah.
Freaking messages were full.
I forgot his number. I forgot what area code he's in, but
came for the Scott, stayed for the glory hole. Nerd Cookies. She's a channel member. Feel free, everybody. So let's just jump into it, guys. So I was watching another Dark Council member, somebody by the name of Drunk 3PO today, and he had a great video on this Galactic Cruiser thing they're doing at. Now this is a hotel, right? It's a hotel, right?
Yeah, it's a hotel.
So, but it's like an interactive hotel, right? Like there's rides in it. Okay.
I don't know if there's rides in it. I know, well, there may be, but I know you have to be in costume. You'll take sort of a transportation to the hotel, and then so it's supposed to make you feel like you're always in universe.
Okay. Yeah, I heard it like drops you off at like a docking station. Yeah. That's pretty dope. That is.
Yeah. It all together, it sounds dope, but
yeah.
For my family to go, it cost $6,000 for 4 people for 2 nights.
Wait a minute, say that one more time.
$6,000 for 4 people for 2 nights.
2 nights.
2 nights.
Wow. Holy crap, that's expensive.
I don't think you can stay beyond. I know you can't stay any less than 2 nights. You have to book for at least 2 nights. And it was, they started to try to give, Drunk is, like I said, Drunk is the expert
connoisseur.
On it. Yeah, he's the expert on it. But I looked into it a little bit. But it was $6,000 for a family of 4.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a family of 5. But like I want to like take my kids to Disney World, and Disney World's a little bit cheaper. Like if I want to stay at the park though, depending on the time of year, it could get like it's a car. Yeah, it's a car.
We go every year. Yeah, I go to. It's just our default vacation. So we're there. You know, we'll be there again in April. And I love Disney World, but that shit is, I mean, $6,000. Yeah, I mean, I
can understand $6,000 for like a week.
Exactly.
You know, but 2 nights is ridiculous, man. That's ridiculous. I'm more of a Universal guy now that I'm older. Like I love the Harry Potter world.
Yeah.
So I am looking forward. I went down there. What? What?
No, you know, I love Universal now that I'm older. You know, Harry Potter. You know, now that I'm older.
Now that I'm older,
and
I'm more refined. You dick.
Hogwarts.
Yes. But we're gonna take a look at this.
I'm a Hufflepuff.
No one actually ever wants to be Hufflepuff, but it happens.
That's the only one I know. I've never read or watched anything.
Gryffindor. I have to say the world we went to when we got there, the books are great, but when we got there, it was brand new that year and it was still amazing, and they've done so much to it. So I'm looking forward to it. Before we do that though, Bond 2 is out. Okay. What?
Bonds
with an S. Sorry. Bonds with an S. I will share the link to the Indiegogo. That is, why don't you explain it, Culture, while I get this set up?
Yeah, we are now diving into the world. The second Bonds book is in production right now. You can sign up for the waiting list over there on Indiegogo. We actually will have a link for that waiting list here in the chat here in just a moment. This is a teaser trailer created for this book. It is beautiful. The art is incredible from the first book.
Yes.
So do check this out. It is gorgeous. Absolutely.
Okay, not everything falls. There goes the welcome to the rebellion hat. This is what you get though. Nerium is an amazing artist. She's a good friend. You get all these different cool little things in there. The artwork is just gorgeous. Mine's number 23 or 231. 231? That's bullshit.
You were a late backer. You know, plus I backed it so that I'm in the book.
You get right up in the back, don't you?
I'm in the book, man. I am in the book, with all of my hair glory. I am one of the heroes at the end of the book.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Man. Well, let's take a look at her trailer. This was done by the Red Gaze. Don't tell Vinny Art I'm doing this because I'm not showing his stuff because he's a jerk. All right, here we go.
The Cursed Child.
Is Harry Potter in it? She kills it, man.
I know.
She is an amazing artist. Like that is fire, dude. That is fire. Are you a comic book guy, Callous?
Star Wars I was.
Yeah.
Star Wars.
No.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Culture.
No, I was just gonna say I just mentioned that I was in that book. I'm not in that book. I'm in the Sunsworn book. I'm not in that book.
I'll try to get in this next one.
But I might be in this Bonds book coming up because
I'm gonna have to spend more money. There she is. There she is. Seriously, amazing. Make sure you tell Vinny I didn't share his link.
Yeah.
Just tell him. Callous, when did you get into Star Wars? Can you give us a little bit about like your Star Wars journey? Because I find that I literally go to you. I'm not joking, man, when I say this. I watch your videos because I learn shit and I really enjoy it. And I wish I had a voice like you. But
awesome.
How'd you get into it, man? How'd you get into it?
I mean, it's just been it's my whole family. They're all Star Wars and Star Trek, but I leaned more towards Star Wars, and so it literally has been my entire life. Both my mother and my father introduced us, and I have 3 brothers, and it's just been a family. Star Wars is a family tradition, and we always went to the movies together, even with these new trilogies up until Last Jedi. It's just something that we did together as a family. Yeah. So
what got you into the books? Just because of that world, you wanted to learn more?
Oh yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, the EU, I kind of just dived head first into that. It was more about just expanding my knowledge with the universe, you
Right.
know, just wanting to know more about these damn characters after what happened after the Return of the Jedi.
Right.
I just needed to know more.
I can understand that from a different world. Like I'm a huge A Song of Ice and Fire fan. So when it comes to Game of Thrones world, like I have the history books. I just get it. Dude, I love it. Like I love knowing where people come from, and when you have such a rich history, like that I think that's why people don't understand why we get so upset.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
And I mean, it's just, oh, man. It's just, there was so much, there is so much lore out there. I mean, just the universe is just so vast. The Star Wars universe is so vast, and I just wish more people would dive into the.
What a dick!
I love him though.
I do too.
You know, I just wish people would dive into the EU and see why it is that many of us were upset with what happened.
Right.
And I don't want to beat that dead horse, but with what happened, you know, with this acquisition, if you will,
right.
You know,
right.
And don't get me wrong, some of the things that they've done under that umbrella have been decent, have been okay, have been good.
What do you think? What do you think is the best thing they have done?
Well, best. So I like their it's 6 novels. So the Thrawn trilogy happened going forward and then going backwards, right? So I think they did a good job with the Thrawn trilogy. I enjoyed the Sith Lord's book. I enjoyed Dooku Jedi Lost book. I enjoyed Qui-Gon and The Apprentice with Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan's story. So some of the novels that they've released have been good. The comics, even though if you watch my channel, you know, I was reviewing comics, and then I just got to a point where I stopped, and it was because I started to see where they were taking, where everything was going to ultimately end up anyway, because
that's the pain.
They went into a time period that I didn't think they needed to dive into, and that's the time period between The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi.
Right.
And they were focusing these issues during this time period, and from my perspective, it was only for the purpose of changing the behaviors of Luke and of Vader. Yeah, so I kind of put a bad taste in my mouth. I intend to go back to them, maybe, you know, and start doing more reviews on them. But I stopped, and I tried to. I wanted to give the High Republic an opportunity to dive into some Disney EU, because you have to realize that the High Republic is the first expanded universe for under the Disney umbrella. So,
oh wow,
so diving into that, it's just there have been some okay novels, but it's just not been. You can see that it's more geared towards kids, but it's odd though, because they're really, really, really including drugs and sex in those novelizations as a lot of the story that's being told.
Is it like spice and stuff like that?
It's spice and alcohol and sex
from Disney.
Yeah.
God dang, man.
In the High Republic.
Well, that's the stuff I don't get, Callous. Yeah. It's like, you know, and you're right. We get into this, we start beating that dead horse of the sequels and this and that, but it's the changing of the canon they're still doing today that I like to focus on, because you touched on it, like what they did in the Mandalorian, or I'm sorry, it's not the Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, Mandalorian season 2.5. You know, Luke, I don't think he did a dark side move on Baby Yoda, Grogu, but it almost seemed like he was entering his mind. You know, and the way Luke made him choose, like you're now leading Luke to the decision that caused him to react to Ben Solo that way. Like, you have to choose and you have to do that. Like, so stringent on his teaching. And they're setting that up. And that's what it felt like. Was that a dark side art? It wasn't? Or was he just helping him?
I don't think it was that's, I mean, it really depends on what your intentions are with the Force when you use it. That will determine whether it's dark side or not. I mean, if we recall, Luke, right in Return of the Jedi, Force choked those Gamorreans when he walked into Jabba's palace. But
that's true.
He's not dark. So it's really like the Bendu says, it's really your intent with the Force that will determine that. But the thing is that what was that, 2012, 2013, when they announced that the EU 2012 when they announced that, right? So at that point I was pissed off because I had read all of those books, and I was motion over there because that's where they all are. I've read all of those novelizations, have all of those encyclopedias and everything, and my thought was, well, now it's out the window. And so what I just did was look at it, said, you know what, I'm going to open myself up, see what they bring. And so when The Force Awakens actually dropped, I was pleased with The Force Awakens as it was, because of I had I've said this many a times, I had a preconceived idea of where I thought they were going to take it, where The Last Jedi was going to lead from that point on, because that was a decent stepping stone. I know it had its faults, but as far as an introduction to what was to come, I thought that it did a decent job, right? And then once The Last Jedi hit, I said, you know what, I'm going to have to look at this like it is its own entity,
right?
It's kind of sad. Yeah, it's sad. But I love Star Wars, so I don't want to give up on Star Wars,
right?
But it's not, and it won't be Star Wars as I knew it,
right?
It's just different,
right? And people, one thing I found kind of interesting is people are focused on Disney and their parks, or they're trying just to make a buck off of Star Wars. Well, Lucas, I mean, that's why he wanted the action figures and things like that. He knew the money was in all the accessories of the merchandising. Exactly. And that's one thing I can't blame them on. What I do blame them on is we're going to make it, I don't know how much the 25% rule really works, but you made it a world we don't know that well. This Starcruiser, which I'm going to share right now, is something that now you're like kind of force feeding us into the world. It wasn't something that we all knew of. I wish they just stuck with what no one's going there and wants to learn about this stuff after the fact. We want to go stay at this hotel because it's things we've known our whole life. Does that make sense?
No, absolutely. I mean, they're saying it's the Halcyon, and in the new books, the Halcyon is a ship. It's in the High Republic. So what is it, going back? What is that? 400 years?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So it's going to have its history, but I think Drunk was also saying, shout out Drunk, that they're sort of posturing it as the place that Leia and Han Solo had their honeymoon.
Right.
So I've always wondered where did they spend their honeymoon? Like, come on. It's like one of the greatest mysteries in the galaxy.
I want to read that's great. I want to read a super chat. I don't see where it is, Culture, but from Comics Chat. Because I love the dude. Guys, first of all, Comics Chat and I have argued on streams. I respect this dude so much because he sticks to what he loves. He thinks I hate everything, but it's not true. But Comics Chat says for $4.99, and thank you, dude. I really do appreciate that. Sporks, the Jedi Order had been wiped out. Their teachings didn't protect them from the Sith. Luke tried a different approach with Grogu. It's cool. Like, I understand. I could see why you feel that way, but it all leads to Ben Solo. So, like, it all leads to The Last Jedi. That's what they're aiming for. It's not like they're trying to show us what he did right. They're showing us how he did wrong.
But was it that different though? Because he just gave Grogu a choice between, look, either you can,
think about what Yoda did. Think about what Yoda did. He said, he was like, your teaching isn't done yet. And Luke was like, I'm going to help my friends. Right. You know, I'm going to do it. And when he came back, I know that Yoda said his teaching, you know, his training was done, but I have a feeling if Yoda still had a couple, you know, the 50 years on him, he would have trained him. Like, he didn't just cut him off. You're not a Jedi now. You know what I mean? Like, pretty much Luke is saying you're either a Jedi or a Mandalorian. You can't have.
Well, it's because of the attachments, though, and like that is like the Jedi Order may have been wiped out, but Luke is doing the same thing that the Jedi Order did. Like, you cannot have any connections.
But the thing was, and this is why I say I just have to separate the two because they're not the same. But EU Luke learned that attachments weren't bad in and of themselves,
right?
And so that's the fact that he's presenting that as a problem wasn't consistent with what Luke had learned, that it's not necessary to make somebody always have to make that choice, because the absolute is that of
Vader. The absolute is Vader.
That of the Sith.
You know who did learn that, though? Because I just read an article about this. Culture and I did. Ray learned that because we saw an article about how Ray's Jedi school will be so much better than Luke, and she won't fail where he failed, and it was all because she knows that having attachments isn't the problem.
So that's EU Luke.
So somebody
sounds like.
Yeah, and Mad tried to make my blood vessel in my forehead pop today and reading that stupid stuff. Oh my God.
Yeah.
But that lesson has been learned. It just wasn't learned by Luke. It was learned by Ray.
I just want to give a shout out to my friend Darren, like my father before me. He's been working on a tumor he has, getting it out of his head. He's showing the scar. You look like Darth Vader when he took off the helmet, but not that bad color. That thing is badass, bro. You represent that, Darren. Darren, you're a good dude. You have been sporting my my Song of Ice and Fire stuff since I started, and 57 staples holding your head together, man. You're gonna beat this shit. You're gonna beat this shit, and we're gonna pray for you. So much respect, my friend. Sorry to interrupt. I just saw that and I had to say something. He's a really good dude. All right, let's watch a little bit of this, guys, and then we can talk about it.
Yay.
Oh, maybe I should put on sound.
You don't have to, but
I love the very first thing you see is people in masks. Like, that's what I wanted. $6,000 for 2 days and I have to wear a friggin' mask in Florida.
They just actually took that away.
Okay.
It's the same thing. Like, the polling data on the mask wasn't looking good, so they changed it up. You know what I'm saying?
How amazing does that look, though?
It looks like generic Star product thing.
It looks brand spanking new for a 400-year-old ship.
Oh, wait, but it's been refurbished.
That's right.
They're going to explain it all here for you, Scotty. Enjoy.
Okay. All right, let's go.
It's so great to have you here with us on board the Halcyon. I know that we at Walt Disney Imagineering have been working with Lucasfilm and you for years developing the backstory of the Halcyon.
Yeah, now we're here in person, really getting to experience what this thing we've had in our brains has been for so many years.
When passengers come to Starcruiser today, they're going to encounter a Halcyon that has been recently restored to its former glory. The way it really looked in the earliest days of its voyages across the galaxy.
The way it's meant to be seen.
The way it's meant to be seen. And the very first place that the Halcyon ever traveled to was Batuu.
Yeah, we're going to follow that same journey that those passengers did, centuries ago in honor of the anniversary of the ship. The events of your stay here at Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser are set between the events of Star Wars The Last Jedi and Star Wars The Rising Sky.
Because that's where I want to be. That's where I want to be, right between The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker. The shit of the Star Wars world. I'm sorry. How are you feeling about this already? Anybody? I take it personally. I'm sorry. I still do. Even though I say I don't, I still do.
Here's the thing, right? They 100% can't. This is the problem with the mentality that surrounds everything now. They can't be wrong. They can't be wrong. They stand on such moral high ground in their own minds that they can't be wrong. And so their movies overall, the Disney Star Wars stuff, for the most part, the exception of like one that didn't matter and one that really screwed up the actual experience prior to the blowing up plans Death Star crap, which were okay, but they were roundly, rejected over time. Force Awakens was probably the most well received of them all, is based on earnings and everything else. Mm-hmm. But when you look at it, you lost half your fan base between the first movie and the third movie of the trilogy.
Yeah,
you're always at odds with your fans. The people who built the franchise feel completely disrespected, and now you're doubling down on that disrespect by making this about an era that people already reject. The people with money, mind you, the people that are going to take their grandkids to this location, people my age, right, who grew up with Star Wars, who saw the original film in the theater when it aired the very first time, the first time it was great. You know what? Eat a bag of donuts. So, but no, those are the people that have been disrespected. You think anybody's going to spend $6,000 to take their grandkids to this hot mess? Not nearly as many as would have had you done it better. Mm-hmm. Had you given us, the original characters, which for whatever reason you fear to do, you could have made this thing very, very successful. Right now, you're struggling to fill this hotel. This thing only works if it's full. They can't get employees in there. If you listen to Drunk 3PO and other humans who are well informed, they can't get the highest end quality servers in here because you're not going to be making money. Right. This is an untested property and it's not testing well, and public sentiment's going to be everything here. And unless the influencers are there every single weekend, every single cruise, and unless you are employing at least 5 or 6 people that do nothing but praise this hotel for a year, you're not going to realize success. And that's what I think so far. So there you go.
Yeah. Right. Anything with that, Lord Callous?
No, I mean, it's just a whole difficult situation. I mean, I think that first of all, that price point is ridiculous, and it's almost like an elitist sort of why would they put that? Why would they make that price point so high, so out of reach for your average Joe who is your Star Wars fan? Yeah. I mean, sure, Kanye loves Star Wars. He can go. He'll be able to pay to go. But
that's a valid point, though, man. Like, who are they striving to get here?
Yeah,
stars, celebrities.
Well, keeping it at that high, though, it also keeps out the riffraff that would be complaining about it on the tubes or the TikToks.
Are you talking about me?
No, well, I'm just saying, like, if you think.
Go ahead, finish up. I'll go.
Are you sure? Because you're woeing me.
Well, no, I was getting mad. Go ahead.
Because if you think about it, like, if you put the price high enough, you know what I mean? The people that go are like, oh, it's just this. You know what I mean? They're not really going to come out and complain about it. Like, honestly. Like,
right, you don't want to admit you wasted that much money.
That as well, yeah.
No, you are in the perfect position to call this the bullshit that it is. If you have all that money and you flashed it down and you say that was lackluster, believe me, it's easier when you have those kinds of resources. Stop it. I let you talk. You stop.
You get them.
Anyway, when you have those kinds of resources, right, it's very easy to say, you know what, this champagne wasn't cold enough. This food tasted like ass. It's going to be really freaking easy for somebody to say that. You know what I mean? And look, they are selling you the premium of premium experience at that price point. Believe me, they are telling you this thing is everything that you touch is going to be coated in gold. You're going to be sleeping on gold silk sheets. Your ass is going to sit on a gold fucking toilet. This is a premium experience because, if it's not, you're not going to appeal to those people, and the guests they've wanted for a long time, and it's been borne out for a very long time based on their surveys, are people that make $300,000 to $450,000 a year. That's right now what they consider their sweet spot. That is not the most of America.
No, and those people aren't exactly known for their hot takes on YouTube either, are they?
Or also going to Disney. They'll probably go to some island somewhere.
Word of mouth on this is going to be trash bags, dude. I'm just telling you, unless you're an influencer or an access media person, by the time you get to some real humanity, let's say that myself or maybe Drunk 3PO goes and does this, which, believe it or not.
Putting yourself in the same category, that's pretty fucked up.
Okay, maybe somebody like Drunk, my buddy Jay.
my best friend.
We're such a dick. Anyway. So, but look, let's say that. Let's say I go and let's say the culture boss and I go and meet up with like Lorena, right? And we roll in here and we hang out at this place. You think this is gonna impress people like us who were, steeped in this our entire lifetime?
Right.
Fuck no.
I'm talking about Lorena Creel and you. Congrats to both of you for hitting 3,000 subscribers.
Congrats.
Yeah, man. Lorena's amazing. And she stuck to her guns. She did what she said she was going to do.
And Lorena, let me just put it out there. That's no disrespect at all. No, I was gonna join for the meeting. I mean, for the show, but
you missed something special, my man.
No, I did not. Okay, here we go. Here we go.
Relax.
What happened?
You ran him off with
You ran him off. Good job, you jerk.
No, listen. Boom. Listen.
All right.
Okay.
I feel you.
Yes. Boom.
I feel you. Mine's in there though. Mine's in there.
Yeah.
And she's in the chat. So I
don't want to get in trouble at all.
Hell no, my man. We respect our ladies and we respect Miss Lorena Creel. God bless you all.
Creel?
I'm getting nervous now because he's trying to get Callous in trouble. Creole, I said. I tried to sound Louisianish.
It did not work.
It did not work at all. Storyman Jack, I couldn't find your original one, but he is a member for 16 months at the Littlefinger level. He says, hail, my friends. I've missed you all. He hasn't been around, but guys, support him too. He's unbelievable writer. He's an awesome dude. Yeah, respect the Ring of Power, everybody. So, Culture Boss says, she is smart and beautiful. That is true, Culture Boss. That's Mrs. Culture, everyone.
Yeah.
You probably shouldn't time her out.
Yeah, why don't we just play this and just shut up and let this move on?
I'm sorry.
There we go.
Skywalker, right around the same time as Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, right here at Disney Hollywood Studios. As a passenger, you get to choose your own path, and the parts of Star Wars that really call to you, that are special to you, you get to go.
Wait a minute. Sorry, go ahead. All I wanted to say was this. How does a Gen Zer know the history of, the feeling of Star Wars? Like, he knows what they tell him to know. I'm sorry.
I had the opposite, but because I was like, he seems like the correct fit to be like,
he looks like a dork.
He looks, right? He looks like, okay, that's, what you would see on The Big Bang, right?
Yeah.
That worked out. All the nerds loved The Big Bang, right?
Yeah, Big Bang Theory. I love The Big Bang Theory.
I love The Big Bang Theory.
That show is awesome, dude. That show is awesome. But this is the problem. This guy is a young Gen Zer who wants to. I'm not speaking for him. I don't know him that well. At all. But I feel like these younger generation that didn't get to see any of the movies in the movie theater want to interject their politics, their social commentary on something that already has its own world, its own canon, its own laws. It's like what they might do to, how can you take George R.R. Martin that talks about a medieval world and interject your politics into it? It can't work that way.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anybody?
No, I agree. I think that, when you're dealing with humanity to some level, maybe at some point will there be parallels?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, but the entire purpose of this is escapism. So I just think they try too hard to bring real world into that fantastical world. It's unnecessary. I don't need to see what's happening in the real world in order for me to connect with this fantasy. I'm connecting with it because I'm escaping from what's happening out over here.
That's a good way of putting it.
As long as they have a character that I can identify exactly. Like, I'm talking.
So it has to be a white veteran burned.
Yeah. If not, I can't relate to it, man. Like,
how much percentage of your body was burned again? 30%. So 30, it can't 30. Be more. Like, we'll give a % or two to them. For
any more than that, it's just gross.
No, I'm saying for the character, he could be 31% or 29% burned. But
yeah. By the way, it also has to be played by a burn victim.
Yes.
It can't be played by somebody faking it.
No. So burns. What you're saying is it should be you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I'm good. All right, let's see where these poor masked children are going to do.
Go live those. Do you join the resistance? Do you
Well,
join
they're
the
not
First
poor.
Order?
It's $6
Are you a
grand. Dude.
scoundrel.
That's
There's
true.
A love story on board. There's
Right.
everything you
Love
could
story.
possibly want. And we'll get to see some of the characters that we
Who's
know and
this
love
Ben
from the
Shapiro
films,
looking
including
I-
Rey
he
and
doesn't-
Kylo.
He doesn't look old enough to be working on this project, right? So the guy on the right's legit. You know, I recognize him. This kid, I have no freaking clue who he is.
Who, Martin?
That's Matt Martin.
Yeah, that's Matt Martin, man. Callous,
Well,
why don't you explain who he is to these guys?
Well, I used to think he was involved with story. He's not in.
He is.
because
He's still.
his title
He's
didn't
going to
say
be
that.
writing about this ship.
Okay, yeah,
Oh,
because
so
that
he-
was
so
my.
this is a highly repugnant piece of shit story group, motherfucker.
That's Travis.
No, I know who Travis is. I'm talking about the dude in the
Yeah, Martin.
I'm a
the
log
other guy.
cabin Republican shirt there.
Yeah, that
Martin's been involed for a while,
he's
hasn't
been
he?
there for a while. Yeah.
Yeah.
You think
Yeah.
you think Martin's part of the Sweet Baby Gang?
He's part of the new era writers for the Disney Lucas
Sweet Daddy Baby
property.
Gang?
Sweet
Yeah.
Daddy. Yeah. Yeah. So wait, he does.
More
I think he
people got
does
that
say.
joke.
I got that. I think he says something about it. But I love how we have to have a Rey, Kylo, and Love.
Films, including Rey and Kylo, who will actually meet up again for probably the first and maybe the only time between those two films.
The Halcyon has been involved in many different adventures, and there are many characters that we know and love from Star Wars that have had an interaction with the Halcyon. Where will our
Is that true, Callous?
Not to my knowledge. I mean, the oh, Lord have mercy. So it has been around for some time.
Okay.
It has been around for some time. As far as them attributing it to, Luke and Leia being married and
Right.
and them cutting to Chewbacca, and I could be wrong. I'm trying to remember off top because I wasn't big on remembering names of ships. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to remember. But that in itself tells me that it didn't make that much of an impression. If you remember the Vindicator class, you remember, but I don't recall the Halcyon playing that large of a role.
Right.
But I could be wrong. I know because I just read a couple of them, and it is taking place in the High Republic, and it's part of the. It was one of the ships that pulled the the Starlight Beacon into place.
Okay.
So, but I'm trying to think if I remember it from the EU.
But I don't know how you could, right? Because again, you're talking about this ship will have had to have been in operation for how long?
It's been since High Republic, so that's over 400 years.
So how far away from ABY
Or 200 years, I think, right? Is it 200 years?
was this? So was it BBY or ABY?
It's BBY. It's before the Battle of Yavin.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. So how many years are we after? Where are we in ABY right now?
30 something, I
7
think.
years.
I thought
Oh,
they
only
changed
7.
that.
No, but
No, I
Rey
was
and
thinking
them is.
Boba Fett.
Yeah, you're
they're
thinking
30
Boba Fett.
years ABY.
Yeah.
Wait,
ABY.
I thought they changed the way that the time is measured or whatever. Is it no?
No, that
like,
is it. They changed it to. Oh no, you're right.
No, they didn't.
Yeah.
No, they didn't. So when you read the capture within that novel, it just says that it's for the purpose of that book.
Oh, okay, for that book.
Yeah, for that book. And then because there's another one where they call it before, what is it? BE4. So before episode 4. Instead
What?
of calling it BBY, it was called before episode 4. One of the new encyclopedias that I have. That's how they measured the time. Before episode 4, BE4.
Oh wow.
Mm.
Yeah. So instead of we're used to it just being BBY, ABY. And that's where we measure it from. And then you have, the Phantom Menace is where High Republic takes place up to the Acolyte, which will take place up to the Phantom Menace.
Okay, so just to clarify, so the kid on the left that he is a writer.
Yes.
Martin.
Okay.
Yep.
The kid on the right is an Imagineer.
Yes, Matt Martin.
No.
Yep.
I know who Travis is. The guy on the right.
Travis, you're talking about. Yes.
Yeah, the kid on the right. So I know who Travis is. It's interesting to find out who the guy on the left is. Mm-hmm. So, all right. So we need to finish this because otherwise I don't want to lose Lord Callous before we have a chance to get.
Yeah. We got a little bit more, so let's do that. But real quick, to Makini Draws for $5. We were just talking about you. Hail, Sporking the Dumpin', Lord Callous. Thank you, my friend.
Salute, Makini.
Yeah, Makini's a good man. Great channel, guys. He's trying to get to 1,000. Let's get him there. All right.
Our fans be able to hear all of these stories about the Halcyon.
Well, he got a little sugar in his
Halcyon
tank,
Legacy comic miniseries. So it's a 5-issue miniseries that sort of spans the generations of time that.
I have to do homework before I go on this trip. That's what that tells me.
This is what I think they're referring to because I honestly do not recall, and I could be wrong. If Raging is in the chat, he could.
Rhino was there. I don't know if he's still awake. Rhino, you wake? Get your butt in here.
I don't recall the Halcyon by name in the EU.
Right.
So I think that when they're talking about how it has this rich history, that this is what they're talking about.
They're just created
history in the past 8 years. Yeah.
Not even. Yeah, I think you're right. All right,
it's the same thing you see with MCU, right? Like they're writing all these Marvel things to like so that way whenever they change something in the MCU, like no, look, it's in the comics. Don't be mad, nerds. Like what? You wrote this 2 years ago. What are you? Well,
yeah, you're absolutely right. Like with the Thor: Love and Thunder, like it was in the comics, yeah, but there was like 30, 40 years of material between that. Like why jump all the way to that real quick? But yeah, we'll finish this and complain a little bit more. Hold on.
Miniseries that sort of spans the generations of time that the Halcyon, kind of their whole history. After that, we've got the High Republic Mission to Disaster. The Halcyon has such a rich legacy, and I'm so excited to get to tell Halcyon stories for years to come.
And I'm excited that our passengers, when they step on board the Halcyon, are going to know those stories, and they're going to be able to participate in their own story and actually shape the events of the story that's happening as part of Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser.
I'm sorry.
You know what story? No, you know what story I know, Mad Martigan? I know the original series. I know the prequel really well. Yeah. I even know their freaking story pretty well, the sequel trilogy. What I don't know is what the fuck they're talking about. I'm sorry, my language, but seriously.
You spend less than 48 hours on this adventure. And speaking of which, there's the great and magnificent Tom. Hi, Big Sexy.
You fucking nerds are still talking about Star Wars.
Yeah, we are. Hi, Tom.
Jesus, that's all Star Wars.
That's all I talk about.
Yeah.
Glad you're bringing in that positivity topic you're known for.
Did you say discover them? I got two children,
discover
baby.
titties.
I know. I got 3 kids. I know what boobs are.
Gross.
They feel like sandbags.
Yeah, right.
What was that?
That was 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Yeah.
Idiot. I love that movie, man.
By the way, how many people? Give me a percentage. Right? Let me have the over/under of. I'll say 25% of the people that go to this are going to know anything about what the fuck this thing is. Come on. Who is...
If I'm spending $6,000, my kids are doing homework. Okay? They're going to have to take a test. And they're going to have to know everything. No. Like, I want them to be able to work in the engine room if need be.
What are you doing, Matt? Get that out of here.
We got to talk about the holocron or whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah. You have 17 more comics to read, kid, before we can go.
Jeez, man.
You can do math later.
Oh, man.
Was the boss put in timeout? She's back, right?
It got worked out. Don't worry about it.
Anybody can get hit. Hi, Tom. How is everything? We only got Lord Callous for a little bit longer, so did you ever want to ask him a question? I'll put him right next to you.
Uh-oh.
I have no idea. You guys I'm just waiting for y'all to be done talking about Star Wars.
We can move on. I mean, if you want to be like that. Let's talk about this story real quick. Where is
you guys got it? I've talked about Star Wars nonstop.
Okay, we'll stop talking about Star Wars.
Day in, day out for the past 5 years, man. It's just
Why
like
did you come on
6
here?
years, 7 years.
Well,
Because I was like saying, if you don't come on, I'm gonna self-delete myself.
I did say something about that.
So I reached out to Rhino. He said specifically, this is not in the EU. The Starcruiser thing.
Yeah.
He said, ain't that nah. This is brand new Disney created bologna sausage. So there you go. There you go.
Lord Callous, Becky wants you to know that she's been loving the shorts just as much as I have.
You know, I gotta say something after all this time culture. What is your prejudice against bologna? Like, come on.
I love bologna.
I'm sick and tired of you talking down to bologna sausage.
Wow. Is there anything I do right in your eyes, Tom?
No. Well, when you rub my feet like you do.
Okay.
Oh shit!
Wow, get them corns. Get them corns.
Okay. Look, you just need really good lotion, right? You don't go for that.
He's got
German
soft
stuff.
hands.
Well,
He
and
does
you
have
need,
soft hands.
He's like a carny folk.
you have to have. It's a vino. You want a vino. That's all.
Wait, what?
What? What's a vino?
A vino
God.
lotion.
Oh,
Lotion.
Vino lotion.
Scott, when you think soft hands, your first thing is, oh, the people that work at carnivals, they have soft hands.
no, carny folk. They got small hands.
Small hands smell like cabbage.
They smell like cabbage. I thought I smelled cabbage. Great movie. Shut up, Mad.
My fault.
Nah,
Yeah.
as far as the whole Star Wars thing, I just, this cruiser thing is a freaking joke. It is a joke beyond jokes. Like, you talked about spending $6,000. Like, that's $6,000 per person, my friend. So it means if you have a family of 4 or 5, you're basically buying a house.
Well, it's
Well,
not,
no, it was $2,000 per person.
Yeah, it's
But,
right. Yeah, no, you're right, Tom.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I don't know the pricing.
No, it's buying a freaking. But you're not wrong. You are correct. It's ridiculously expensive.
a
You
car
are,
then.
Yeah, you are halfway. Yeah, you're halfway to a Winnebago. Well, not a Winnebago. You're halfway to the van that Mad Martigan uses to spy on Comics Division's house.
Lone Star.
Oh, that was a walk.
I mean, seriously, $6,000 is like a school education for some kids. Yeah. Like, that's a private school.
That's a down payment on a brand new car. Yes,
it is. Oh. It is. I mean, they are not okay. So this just even puts another nail in the coffin of the idea that the blue collar fan is what Disney wants.
Rhino.
Lucasfilm does not want the blue collar person anymore. They have told us this time and time again. They don't want men. They just want, the Force is female. We want young. We want hipsters. We want, people with, disposable money. We don't want families.
But it's a damn shame, man. Because it's like, I mean, it's truly generational. Like I said, like from my parents to, us, the, 4 children, and from my children to, hopefully their children. We enjoy Star Wars as a family. We look forward to the new movies coming out to go, sit in that theater and the IMAX and watch that together as a family. That was,
we did, but even with the Disney Star Wars, right? And we did the same thing, Lord Callous. This is a family experience. You're describing it, right? You have grandparents, you have parents, you have grandkids going to this film together to do this stuff, right? And it's like that's what happened with my family. We all went to The Force Awakens. We had an entire row at the movie theater, right? And that's the way it's supposed to be.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Hey, George.
Hello, everyone. How you doing, brothers?
It's been a while. I'm glad you're on, man.
It has. I have that root canal. So.
Oh yeah.
I have a button. Something to do.
You have a button. Do it.
Hello.
He's got a beautiful soul.
Man, George, your beard looks good, bro. Holy cow.
Yeah, why does yours look good and mine looks like I'm using touch of gray with this camera? I don't get it. Like dark. Wait a minute. I can't do it now. Dark and like I'm like Two-Face. It's weird. God, I look weird. Anyways, Callous, whenever you have to jump out, just let us know. Because I'm going to move on to another topic, George. We're going to talk about this poor girl not being dark enough, I guess.
It bothered me so much. My God.
Go ahead, George.
No. Her name is Xochitl Gomez, I believe. Is that what it is?
Yeah. How do you say her name?
Xochitl. That's what I read.
Seriously, have these woke motherfuckers had to make us like stick up for Chavez?
I know,
Dude.
but did you see what they were saying about it?
Oh,
I mean,
it's
this is
horrific.
That's my point. Is like we really have come to the point where we're sticking up for these fucking
the toxic fans are sticking up for her. Yeah,
But that's what happens whenever you follow a path of pushed inclusivity or diversity that is a force for a political agenda. If people in Hollywood or Washington truly wanted, if they respected varying cultures, different ethnicities, you know what they would do? They would create new universes, new stories, new characters. But when you bring in someone because you go, well, we got to check off this tick box, you dishonor them. The whole point of the entire world having other cultures is so we can celebrate each other. It's like when I go to an Indian restaurant, I don't want to have a Big Mac. I want to enjoy the food, the culture, the cuisine, the people, the atmosphere. When you try to blend all that in together, what you end up doing is you make everybody the same. And I'm not talking about treating everybody equally. We all do that. I'm talking about you strip everyone of their uniqueness. And what do we have? We have America Chavez. And who is the first people to attack her? The radical left. What did they do? They're like, hey, you're not from Puerto Rico. You're too light skinned. I've never heard of such a thing in my life. I'm like, can the person act? Can they give something to the story? That's all that should matter.
Real quick, you're not eating a lot of Big Macs in India. Go ahead, Culture.
No, but they just did this. We've just done this all over again, right? Because you had Johnny Legs come out, right? Leguizamo come out and say that he wouldn't go out in the sun. He avoided the sun so he.
Who's to say that's not true, though?
No, I'm not saying it's not true. What I'm saying is he wouldn't go out in the sun because he didn't want to get any darker because he wouldn't get cast anymore.
But what's the one common denominator here between
Hollywood?
Johnny Legs, Rose Tico, all these situations where it's always generally us saying, wait a minute, but you're taking a beautiful woman and you're doing this to her, or you're saying she's not, or which actress was that had to come out and apologize? Zoe Saldana? Black enough?
You mean 3 weeks ago when she started crying and saying,
"Oh no,
that was Thadia."
That was
the one from Westworld.
I'm trying to get her name.
Thadia?
No, it's Thandie Newton, but she's trying to call herself Thandie Way, I think. I'm not sure. I'm not certain.
Thandie Newton, who was beautiful and talented and great, and when she appeared in Westworld, she was one of the best things about the first season.
Oh hell yeah!
Absolutely.
And again, I mean, the first season of Westworld was damn near perfect television,
it was
right?
Great. I wanted to go there.
What show did you guys watch?
The first season was fantastic.
I see. I'm the fan of the original film.
Oh, me too.
Brenner. This sucks ass.
Sorry, you Brenner. Sorry, the King and I.
The twist at the end was so fucking stupid. And then Gary luckily told me not to watch season 2, and I'm like, thank God.
I heard they're coming out with season 4.
Wait, we're about to lose the man of the hour.
Okay.
So,
yes.
Thank you. Wait a minute. Let's bring him up. Work.
I appreciate you. Thank you for having me.
I love your work, by the way. Thank you.
That's George. George is a great man. Callous, thank you so much. Next time we're going to have you on for a longer, maybe a Monday night where it's just me and you and not all these jamokes.
It's fun. It's fun. I appreciate you.
You begged me to come in here.
I did.
I have to get Lord Callous on the Sunday Culture Review.
God, they're going to try to get you now. So, Lord Callous, tell them where they can find you, and then we'll get you on the Culture Review and everybody else's channel because that's how we run.
Rock on. I'm on YouTube, Lord Callous, and then I'm also on TikTok, Lord Callous.
All right. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Appreciate you.
Guys, the Dark Council every Wednesday, and keep an eye on his shorts because they are amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Have a great night.
That sounds kind of sexy.
But what?
You know what is odd?
On his shorts. I'm going, wait a minute. What kind of channel does he have?
We got to get him on your culture review.
Yeah.
He's fantastic.
He's amazing, man. Go ahead, George.
Go ahead, George. I was going to say, because we brought up Thandie Newton.
Yeah.
Look at that. They pushed a human being, right? Mm-hmm. A human being in 2022 to feel so shitty about themselves, or her agent said, hey, you gotta do something to spark up your career. It's one or the other. Right. But imagine if it wasn't for work. They forced someone to self-impose restrictions that they hated who they were. They hated who they were. I mean, She was saying, "Who I took jobs from people who were darker than me." I'm like,
but they did. But here's the thing.
No, you said it perfect, Culture. Before Hollywood chooses these people.
Yeah, it's been this has been a problem from the word go, and it's disgusting. And if that's how this is really being done, if this is the way casting decisions are being made, even now, even today, in today's Hollywood, where they're trying to tell you just how virtuous they are. The person to blame is whoever went about doing that. This girl didn't do anything. Did you see how excited she was when she showed her toy?
The color of your skin and your size, the color of your skin is the new size in Hollywood. That's what's going on. Like it used to be, because I mean, that was one thing I remember when I talked to Clint Howard. It was about how he talked about how Bryce has dealt with this shit for years, or dealt with this shit. Sorry,
who?
Bryce Dallas Howard.
Oh, Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yeah,
okay.
how she's constantly had to do with the weight situation, and how they kind of treated her the opposite the way normally Hollywood does when it comes to nepotism.
Yep.
And then finally she's getting some recognition here, but she tried and tried and tried, and she could never get the respect she wanted. She was constantly under these he said that they would send her to fat farms and shit all the time to make sure she.
And
was
she's a beautiful woman.
Bryce Dallas Howard was a stick.
No, she has a little
thick.
You know what it was? You know what I found?
Sorry.
No, George.
Richie Cunningham's daughter?
It's Richie Cunningham's daughter, yes. What broke that mold and it wasn't for all women, because in the 90s when J.Lo and Beyonce, you could have a thicker woman of color, but when it came to a white girl, they still wanted them to be like Twiggy. It wasn't until the girl from Mad Men came out, she was a mad woman.
Yeah, she's
that
closer to that body
right.
style,
They started allowing thicker women, and I'm sorry, I grew up in the 90s. I never understood the heroin chic look of models.
Oh, you mean Twiggy and all that?
Oh, disgusting!
I don't understand
Kate
it either.
Moss.
Why would you want
Kate
something
Moss.
that looks like a 10-year-old boy? It makes
It's
no
not
sense.
even that. I always thought you'd get splinters.
Yeah,
that's funny.
It's like Brie Larson today.
Big toe, I can't get over that big toe. Though.
Yeah, no, I like myself.
Christina
a thicker
Hendricks
woman.
is who you're thinking of. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you, Brett Estate. Brett Estate is the man. He yelled at me before. I don't know what I did. I always do something wrong.
Wait. We were talking about Christina Hendricks, and I missed it. The amazing.
No, that's what we're referring to as far as
I love Sporking News
I
podcast.
love Christina Hendricks, and she married that goober.
She's gorgeous.
We can't even use the word buxom anymore. You know that?
Why? What's buxom wrong?
It sounds like too male.
No,
what?
Broad. We used to use broad. She's a built broad.
Yeah. We call them a brick shit house.
Yeah.
Yes. That was a compliment.
Yeah.
But have you seen her husband? He looks like he's gonna.
She divorced him.
Oh,
she divorced him.
She had to get someone who didn't vanish.
So
she was in a great series called Happen Leonard.
Yes, incredible series.
Such a great
What's
series.
it about?
Oh, so good.
Based on. Let Matt tell you.
Oh well, George, go ahead, man.
No, God, I love that series. 3 seasons of it. And the gentleman who was the one who played in The Wire, his name just escapes
Jason
my mind.
Williams.
He just died last year.
Yeah, man.
Oh, the main act. I know who you're talking about.
From The Wire.
Texas. They shot him in Texas.
Yeah, Omar from The Wire.
Omar from The Wire passed away. Yep.
And you know what's odd is he played a gay character. Yeah. And again, this is like when they say, "Oh, all y'all are phobes or is." No, you're not. I could care less.
I love
badass motherfucker.
That was in Baltimore in a period of time when you would have thought that would have been, maybe even a death
Michael
sentence.
K. Williams.
Michael K. Williams. Let me say this: the people that pointed out culture, and then please go on with what you're saying. The people that point out that you don't like gay, those are the people that actually have an issue with it, not us.
I agree.
Go ahead, Culture. What were you going to say, though?
Nothing. It's just back then he would have had all kinds of harassment. So it was, to a certain extent, it was properly portrayed, right? But at the same time, the audience accepted every minute of The Wire. We were consuming it like crazy. Mm-hmm. And he was one of many people's favorite characters on the show.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, Omar? Yes, a legend. I just can't believe he died.
I still never watched The Wire.
He was also excellent in... the Boardwalk one with Stephen Buscemi.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Boardwalk Empire.
He was really good in Boardwalk. What was his name in that? Great name.
real gangster. He played a real gangster.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot the guy's name, but he was fantastic in that.
So good.
So, okay, so we got America Chavez. She's not dark enough, I guess. Outright harassing her over it. So these people are harassing her over their belief that the Mexican actress is both too light-skinned and the wrong ethnicity to play a Puerto Rican superhero. Where have we gone where an actor can't play someone who they are not?
Oh, that started with Scarlett Johansson. Remember 4 years
What
ago?
should we? Go ahead, Tom.
Well, I was just gonna say, to be fair, at one point, like, you know, Paulie and a few of the other guys will always point out that there is differences that even they don't seem to give a shit about. They can't claim to pretend to care so much about ethnicity and all this bullshit.
Right.
But then they show their ignorance every time they do this stuff, right? And then you got the other side of it is to where you're right too, Scott. It's like, leave the fucking poor girl alone. What the fuck did she hurt? She did not make this choice.
No,
Right.
No, and the hypocrisy of it all, like I said, you guys were talking about it already with the elimination of redheads, you know, with Christina Hendricks and stuff like that. I mean,
Paulie!
Is he here?
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
Somebody throw Paulie a link.
He's like,
I got it.
Throw Paulie a link.
I got it.
Because I would like to ask Paulie this question. Like,
Isn't she
you know,
an
I
alien,
don't.
though?
Well, I don't have exactly. She is from another dimension. I don't have a problem with a girl from Spain playing an Italian if they could pull it off. I don't have a problem with a Greek playing an Italian if they could pull it off.
Right.
I understand if you have a girl with, you know, from Scotland with red hair and green eyes trying to play a Sicilian. Okay, I can understand maybe that's an issue, but if we're in the right ballpark of color tone and that person gets the essence of the character
And they're a great actor.
yeah, I'm fine with whoever they are.
But
You know,
But remember what happened 4 years ago with Scarlett Johansson. She was up for a role to play a trans character, and the entire community came out and were like, "You can't do that. You're taking a role from someone else. You're not trans." And I'm like,
less than a year after what's his name won for playing a very similar character.
Oh, the guy from yeah. Shit. I just saw Mr. Grant Gregory and I went blank. The guy from the Harry Potter movies, the new ones, right?
which one?
The new movies, the Newt Scamander guy.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was Doctor Strange.
Oh, well, I'm talking about the guy who played Newt Scamander. Well, I am. He played a transgender in a movie and did an excellent job. The Danish Girl, I think it was called, or something like that.
I have no idea.
Oh, yeah. Well, anyways, hi, Mr. Grant Gregory. How are you?
Hello. How you doing? Are you talking about Eddie Redmayne?
Eddie Redmayne.
I
Thank you.
can't stand Eddie Redmayne. And there's something about him I just want to beat his face in. I don't know what it is.
Wow.
I've never whenever I see him, I'm like, click off.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. Just
This girl's only 15.
yeah.
And they're destroying her like that.
But you saw her. She was so excited to show off her toy. She's just.
You think they give a shit about the age of somebody?
They were beating the shit out of her.
What? You mean online?
They were ready to put a 17-year-old kid in the fucking gas chamber if they could have.
Yep. Yeah.
But that's what happens with radicals.
Yes. I really need y'all to take a close look at these two pictures because absolutely what are we doing here? I'm sorry.
What's amazing, these are the same people. They're like, whoa, why can't this be a female character now?
Or why can't this white character be black now?
Why can't dwarves be black without beards?
And not only that, the depiction that they did, they picked the darkest depiction of Chavez out of all of it. That's not what she normally looks like either. And
she's
also,
in the shade in that picture.
I mean, I am a little bit upset that we did not pick someone from a utopian lesbian dimension to play her, but we can't all have what we want.
But here's the bullshit. This particular fucking tweet is disgusting, reprehensible, and this person should be ashamed of themselves.
Right.
I do wish actors were more responsible about accepting these roles. I'm not really interested in vilifying POC characters. You're a fucking piece of shit.
Right.
Exactly what you meant to do.
Yeah.
Why do they use
anything
that term?
before but? Right.
Why do they use that term?
Because they are indoctrinated leftist Marxist.
I can tell you.
Truckers.
I'll tell you why. Because Jane Theory and Lorena Creel, again, congrats on 3K. They broke it down for me one day. They can't stand POC because what POC does is take every ethnicity, even if you're just talking about people that are considered black. You are taking African, Jamaican, West, every other culture and putting them into one. So there is one group and then there is white. So you have people of color in one group, white people in another. It's disrespectful to people's heritage, and it's a term that the left uses where they're once again not thinking about what they're really saying. Jerks. Sorry.
So it's basically a subtle way to other everyone else. It's like, here are the two groups. That's basically it. Okay. I just never understood where POC came from. It's like, you see it pops up everywhere. I just never knew the root of it. Thank you. I didn't know.
Yeah, you're welcome.
To me, POC is no different than saying the other way.
Yeah, flipping it around, right?
Way too close to be comfortable.
Exactly. And that was something that, I was never even comfortable saying growing up.
Never, man. And it was kind of still a term used when I was a kid. Yes, I was just about to say that.
Grandparents used it and stuff like that. But my grandma also used to call them little N boys too. So
what are you talking? What word are you talking? You're not talking the N word. What are you talking?
No. Flip that around. Not POC, but.
I got it. Oh, okay, I told you the root canal got to my brain.
Take the oven, add a D in there.
Yep, and Brightest Day is right. They did that on purpose. That's They use that term. I still believe to this day that the left is like, holy shit, look at all the stuff we're getting out of it. Let's try calling, black people of color. Let's see if people will say POC. Okay, let's do it. Holy shit, they did that. Okay, what can we do next? Like,
we add an X to something and see how they're going to pronounce it.
Latinos are really a proud people. Let's put them Latinx. Oh, that's great.
What? No, Latinx.
Just in case people are wondering, like, my grandma passed away 20 years ago, and she'd be like 110 or something like that if she was still alive.
Look, dude, my grandmother was
she grew up in this obvious time, right?
My grandmother was a sweet Italian woman that when she found out at the time I was dating an Asian girl, she was like, "Oh no, you're not going to marry her though, right?" Like, she didn't understand because she grew up in a section of town that only had people from the same area of Sicily as her. We're beyond that now, people.
Little Sicily, yeah.
Little Sicily. The pizza was so good. Danielle at The Art of Law said, this was obviously a very colorist choice, and the age choice is also very weird, and probably just an excuse not to mention her sexuality.
What? By the way, I think that's Daniel.
Oh, Daniel? I don't know. I saw a chick. I thought it was a chick.
Wait a minute, isn't she a teenager? Who gives a fuck about her sexuality?
Oh, that's what they're saying. They're saying the fact that you made her 15 years old is the only reason why you did that, is so we can't talk about how she's a lesbian.
How fucked is that, man?
Go up. Oh, wait, never mind.
She ain't even been to college yet. She don't know what she is.
Listen, here's the thing. She's from a world that has only women. If you're a person that's only ever eaten steak for your entire life, and you love steak, but then you go somewhere and there's a meat pie or a pizza, you're probably going to want to try that. So we don't necessarily know where her flavors lie.
Hold on, everybody. We have representation. Representation is here. Paulie, tell us what we're doing wrong.
Everything.
I don't know what's going on.
Do you think the idea that this poor girl is being destroyed because she is not dark enough to be American Chavez and she's Mexican, not Puerto Rican? The actress. She's being destroyed online. A 15-year-old girl because she is not dark enough and she's not Puerto Rican. She's an actor, though. She acts.
She's too human.
Yeah, she's also from this planet and not another dimension. They left that part out, Mr. Grant Gregory. Huh.
So what's the question?
The question is, should they be attacking her? Should they be attacking her? Should they get rid of her and put somebody in who is Puerto Rican and a darker skin tone?
That's not acting, really. They're trying to find the exact duplicate.
Yeah. What do you feel like, Paulie? Because to me, this is like these are the same people that say it's okay to switch and I'm not trying to be that, but to take a white character that's historical and make them a black character, but a girl from another dimension. We're upset that she is not Puerto Rican and a little bit darker skin tone, the actress. Like,
she's lighter and they want her to be darker.
But Anne Boleyn could be a black woman who was actually a real person. Like, It just, when
Did you
does
just
the
call her
hypocrisy?
Anne Berlin?
I did, totally. I was hoping no one caught that. I hate you, Tom.
Oh, that's funny.
But do you find that to be hypocritical?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of hypocrisy with what this is going on right now with this situation, and it's multi-level. So it can be very complex, and yet it can just be just plain old Hollywood idiocy, which is there.
Mm-hmm.
It boggles my mind, and I did a video on this yesterday, and where I went with the argument, like, okay, let's say you're right, that a Mexican, or in Xochitl's case, Mexican American, she was born in LA, can't play an Afro Latina. So I flipped it and I said, here are 3 Afro Latinas that played Mexicans in their career. Where's the uproar? Where's the colorism? Can
I interrupt you 1 second? And I'm going to sound a little naive. What is Afro Latina? So she's half black, half Latino, or? Okay,
so you mean like to oversimplify it?
Yes, please.
Hey, sweetie.
Hey, Mrs.
Latinos are either there's 2 main components, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have Spanish roots.
Yep.
And you either have native indigenous roots, depending on what part of Latin America you're from, or you have African roots because of the slave trade was even more intense in Latin America. So African roots, Afro Latinos have been there for since day one. So it just depends on what country you are coming from. So it's a false statement to call Xochitl a white Latina, because we already had the mestizaje, that mixture. That's what being a Mexican is. It's already there. I mean, and then you look at color within her family. There's a beautiful photo that I put up of her and her father, and he's like, really dark and just like a sweet looking, humble man, very proud and hugging his daughter. And they're like, I mean, first of all, how great is that of an American story, right?
Right.
Children of immigrants and her getting the role of a lifetime
in a massive, massive franchise,
right?
Man.
And whatever we think about the character, and that's another part of the argument, which is what do real comic book lovers think of this character? And it's not good. It's not good. But that's another part of it. And then there's the troll element that you're trolling a 15-year-old. Which
is worse, which is the worst.
Which is disgusting. You're absolutely right, bro.
You don't do that to a child. Hey, Paul, you don't do that to a child. I don't care who or what. They're kids. They don't know.
And I think we're the biggest victim in all of this, because now we're gonna have to take up for this horrible character from the comic books.
But you don't have to. No one's talking about
bad.
No, you have talking about child.
In my video, I did not talk about the character. I said that there's different iterations of the character, which is like alien, lesbian, Latina, Afro Latino. It's like none of them worked.
What is that word right there where they say American Chavez is a strong, confident, queer Afro
Boricua?
Boricua.
What is Boricua?
Female.
Okay.
Boricua is Puerto Rican. Borican.
Puerto Rican.
Is what the islanders call themselves. It's a Borinquen. That's where they're from.
Right.
And then they go to New York and you're Nuyorican. It's like
it's this
slang upon slang. It's a beautiful thing. It's just different.
When I was in Nicaragua, they called them. They said the slang was Nica. Like everywhere I went in Central and South America.
But isn't this a problem because it's so hypocritical? Because when we start to point out the differences in characters, when they gender swap, they race swap.
I want to wait on that because that's another element, right?
Please.
That's another element that we as a community, I hear all the time. Ginger swapping, right?
Yeah, ginger swapping. Yeah.
Right, and I counter that. Well, there was a ginger that played a Chicana in Aliens. Her name was Jeanette Goldstein. She played Vasquez.
Oh, I know. Yeah,
she was fantastic. but that would have been a really cool role to give to an actual Latino actor in the 80s.
Right.
But that's a whole nother thing is like this weird argument that and it goes back to what Tom was saying. Hollywood is in love right now with anything black. That's just what it is, guys.
Yep.
That's just what it is. I mean, Romy, if Romy went up for the role that she got in El Cantante, where she played Mark Anthony's sister in the movie,
that's dope.
Dude, they would have run her out of town.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man,
but she got it because she was the best damn actress.
Yeah, and that's what it's supposed to be.
Well, so here's another thing is that, I made those examples of those Latinas playing, in one case, Rosario Dawson, beautiful African, whatever, Afro-Latina woman, plays Dolores Huerta, who's like this Chicana, real historical figure from California who started the United Farm Workers with Cesar Chavez, played by Rosario Dawson. I thought that was like the worst casting choice ever. But I supported the film. I supported it because that's what we do. That's what you do to make it a fucking success. To make because you want better products, better projects in the future.
Yes.
And twice now, within a year, you have Afro Latinx Xers going after Latinos who aren't black, publicly vilifying them, and I'm pushing back. Other Latinos that I know that are pushing back because if you don't, it's just like what you said. You better comply. That all that bullshit, and it happened in the Heights.
Yep.
It was disgusting the way they treated Lin-Manuel, Steven, the director, the Asian director.
Right.
So it's a weird dysfunctionality, but so there's that culture within culture that's always been there. Colorism has been a problem when it comes to like just seeing white Latinas on novellas for decades. I get it.
Of course, man. But now you're giving Latinos or Latinas or Latinos an opportunity, and because they're not from the actual region, you're going to attack that person when they were probably the best choice for that job. I find that hypocritical. I find that wrong. Like, I have no issue with us no longer having white people playing Asian. Let's get some Asian actors in there. But
I want to tell and then if you guys notice, I have not said anything about representation because Tom knows when it comes to the real numbers of Latinos in the United States.
Oh, the numbers. Yeah.
Hold on.
Mexican Americans are massive.
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt. I'll be right back. My nieces who are spending the night are rushing into the studio.
Oh, tell them we said hi.
Hey.
All right.
Say hello.
Hey, kids. Hey.
Okay.
He's a rock star.
No. I'll put him to bed and I'll be right back.
All right, buddy.
I'll be right back. Hold on.
Yep.
Right.
Yes, and I understand that. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think it is about time that if it's a Latino, a black, a white, I don't care what the character is. Yes, the person playing them should fall in that spectrum, but we shouldn't have to pigeonhole it like, oh, this character has one leg. We need a one-legged Latino from 26th Street.
Scott, I think about Scott. Like, we haven't even seen the film. She's been cast in this forever.
Right.
Why are they doing this now? Because the trailer came out? Because the photos came out?
I don't know.
You've had photos of Xochitl, who is a little dynamo of an actor.
Yes, she's adorable.
She's a cute kid. And she was so fired up about her toy.
That's what kills me.
It bothers me so much.
Yeah, man. I'm with you. And Xochitl is a beautiful name. Means flower.
How do you say it again?
Xochitl. It's not
Xochitl.
Spanish. It's Nahuatl.
It's indigenous.
It's basically what the it's still spoken.
Aztec, right?
Like almost 2 million people still use it. A lot of words that you know and love are actually Nahuatl.
Okay, is that more like close to Aztec?
Yeah, it's Aztec.
Yeah. Okay. Let me just read these 2 super chats. Andy McCallum, because George is not here, I'm going to read it. George has a beautiful soul. Truly love your work. I'm doing that because he doesn't need any more praise.
No.
Send it my way, Andy. And Mr. Grant Gregory, who's on the panel for 5 Australian. I really hate this whitewashing of this panel. In the comics, they were much more diverse shades.
Damn.
We do have too many. Well, Lord Callous was here, and now we have Paulie. And we have Tom. I think his shading on this avatar is a little dark, though.
Well, no, he's a quarter Chicano.
Okay. All right. We'll let it.
I actually, Tom, did I not send you your updated?
You never sent it to me.
Color. God,
wow.
I am a terrible person.com.
I don't think you're going to get any disagreements.
We haven't even talked about the character, which is our fifth iteration, I believe, because she's younger.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just so damn ridiculous.
They have an opportunity to fix it. That's the other thing. Like, I was thinking about that the other day. They can fix this and make it like, they can make her like a superstar in this film.
She could be the next like Star-Lord. You know what I mean? Someone who wasn't really well known outside of comic book fans, and blows up. Like, if she nails this role, and I really hope she does, even though the MCU has gone away from what I enjoy. I actually, like, when I saw her excited about that figure, I wanted to see this girl succeed.
Well,
like,
let's go
I'm not
back,
heartless.
Right?
You know?
Let's go back. This, because at the end of the day, this is a woke on woke crime.
Yeah.
Right. These are Latinxers, Afro Latinxers, going after this girl, her skin complexion.
Mm-hmm. Which
instead
is so
of celebrating the fact that Xochitl Gomez, a Mexican American kid immigrant from nothing, right? Her parents are very poor when they came here, got this role. Like, you know, where's the celebration and unity?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But and it's a big deal because, you know, it's very strange. It's very strange why Chicanos, Mexican Americans, rarely play themselves on television. And when they play, when people like Eddie Olmos are a very rare anomaly.
Right.
When they get to play outside of the race, oh, dude, that's like never happens. It never happens,
thought of that.
Guys.
I never thought of that, man. You're absolutely right.
And you know, you'll see, and I put those examples up of Rosario, of Zoe, and Rosie Perez. They've all played Chicanos from East LA or Mexicans, and they like it's like I've never seen a Mexican or a Chicano like that. But I'm not Mookie. I'm not gonna like just tear down the production. I'm gonna celebrate it because like, all right, well, you know. It was a decent movie, or you know.
You make a good point though, Paul, because it's something I never even thought of before. Because you know, this is something different, but in the same lines. Because we had this conversation, one of our early podcasts we were talking about your top Latino actors and actresses for the year, and you know, I gave you a lot of shit about Pedro, and think what we will about him personally. Paulie made a point then that it took me a little while to kind of really sink in, and I don't know if this is the exact point he was trying to make, but it really kind of over time really did kind of dawn on me, and what he just said now made me think of that.
Yes.
And that was that having Pedro in The Mandalorian and what's her face we just talked about, Jesus Christ, Rosario playing Ahsoka, that's representation that the community normally doesn't get.
Yeah.
Because they're not playing Latino characters, they're playing specific characters that have nothing to do with their race.
And if you think
that's
about
how
it,
it should be.
Paulie, and if you think about it, he is one of the only actors I know that gets casted as a non-Latino. You know, like look at him in Wonder Woman. You know, he's got
a look.
He does. Yeah. I get that.
And then you know, Tom's just discovered Narcos the first couple of seasons. I'm like, dude, that's where I fell for Pedro.
Yeah, dude, he was good in that
deal.
Paulie, this is one of the things you and I agreed on wholeheartedly. I thought it was amazing. Those first 2 seasons with him and Kinnaman were incredible. I love that show so much. He was such a good leader, and that was a brilliant show, and it showed off his chops in an amazing way.
But see, you know, if we follow the Wocoso agenda, then we need to cancel Pedro. We need to cancel Xochitl. We need to cancel anyone whose skin pigmentation is too light.
Right, it's their fault
because they are now white Latinos. I mean, it is absolutely disgusting. It's ridiculous. It's exhausting for me. You know, and like I said, it's like it's so rare, Tom, that you know one of the biggest minorities we don't even get to like play good roles. It's very rare. And then when we do, we get this shit. But it's all right.
It isn't though. Andy McCallum for $2. Thank you for the super sticker, my friend. I really appreciate all you do to support the channel. You know what though? It isn't right. It isn't right. Like, it is one of the largest cultures in America. They are Americans. I consider that if you live in America, you're American. If you're a citizen, you're American of Latin descent, of Irish. I wish more people thought that way. Like you are an American first and then of this descent. But if we take a look at it, Latinos are a massive part of the American family, and they should be represented more. And Paulie, I never thought of it like that until you said that just now. See, that's why I love having representation on my very white panel, because it helped, like Jane Theory and Callous and Mark with a C. They opened my eyes to things that I just, as a white man, never really thought about. And I know that sounds kind of leftish of me, but it's the truth. Like, holy crap, I never thought of it that way. And they're absolutely right. And you're absolutely right in what you're saying. Like, why shouldn't Latinos play other cultures than Latino in every freaking movie they're in? Like Pedro is like one of the only ones I can think of off the top of my head.
It's all across the board, right?
Yes.
It feels like, we've come to this point before, but Paulie, I think, making the bigger point is instead of celebrating things when we do get good representation, instead they do shit like this, right? And because the point is yes, representation does fucking matter. Some of the things that the woke culture does gripe about do fucking matter, and there's some things that do need to be changed, but they're talking about an extreme, and the reason for doing it is not genuine. I'd suggest everybody watch this latest week's South Park was great too, but the week before last, the second episode of the new season, because it really breaks down a lot of this shit about how a lot of Hollywood works, right? This token representation that they have in everything has gotten worse. Like, it was one thing here and there back in the day. They got a little better with it. Sure, you'd have every time you'd see a classroom of kids, it went from being completely white to, not so white.
Yeah.
Between the 70s and 80s. Sure, we had that kind of a situation. Our crowds seen the same difference. We seen all white crowds move into not so white crowds, all the time. It was a natural progression. We finally got around to it. But Paulie and I talk about this all the time, is we love the movie La Bamba, and we know
I love La Bamba.
Lou Diamond Phillips is not right
ethnicity
or whatever to be playing Richie Valens, but
he
it
doesn't even look like Richie.
Matter. Right? Yeah, he doesn't even look like Richie. But that's not even the point. It doesn't fucking matter. The point is that story brought Richie's story to so many people who never even knew who the fuck he was.
I knew his music, but I never knew his story, dude.
Exactly. He had been dead for over 20 some years at that point. And a lot of people had never even heard the song La Bamba, let alone even knew anything about Richie Valens and all that kind of stuff. So, like, just the fact that those guys, Taylor Hackford and all those guys, got together to make that movie the way they did, regardless of whose ethnicity was what, that doesn't fucking matter. It was a celebration of a kid who at 17 had done something that no other Mexican-American kid had at the time.
Right. Amen, man. And I love that movie. I'm sorry that one of my more powerful parts is the mother, like, Bob, why my Richie, Bob? Like, man,
that's the big part of the movie is that it really keys in on the family, right?
It's all about the family. Great cast.
Great cast.
Great
cast. And Becky Browand, All American here. Same here. I'm All American.
Yes, you are.
I'm 100% All American.
Yep.
And let me tell you something. Latinxers, they're not All American. They're not pro American. They're not pro patriotic. They're not pro for
they want divide.
People coming together. No, it's division upon division, and it's their march and step with everything else that we talk about here, guys. And I don't like going down that dark rabbit hole because that's not my onda. But I
love that car.
Yeah, let me just I love what I do on my channel, and I love bringing people. And just showing the culture, and just showing
that's what I love about your channel,
the talented people coming in and out of it.
My best friend Andy.
Yep.
Best friend.
Oh, okay.
Well, we're best friends. Just keep telling them that.
I think Paulie celebrates art in general, And if sometimes
art
he has
and
a little
culture.
Yeah, he has a little bit of an ethnic slant on it once in a great while, but that's not even the point. So I mean, yeah, sure, his channel's called the Latino Slant, but Paulie celebrates everything that's of the arts.
And in a positive spin, man. And I appreciate
when
that.
When it's Latin specific or like in Spanish, I want to make sure like it's fantastic and you guys want to hear this new music, want to see this new movie that's in Spanish, whatever. But like I really want to bring like the best of the best.
Well, you know what, Paulie, I do love your it's becoming a Paulie we love moment, but I love when you like actresses to watch. Those are things I enjoy because I don't know these actresses and you're giving me information to keep an eye on them. And I think that's something that you can help with your channel, force Hollywood to open their eyes a little bit more. I think more people like you would help just open up the door to a lot of people getting jobs that should be getting them. And not this idea that, you have to be the exact fit for it, but let's celebrate, this culture with someone who fits in that general mold, but is the best actor for that position, that role.
Yeah. I mean, if this continues, if this story keeps continuing, and the Wokosos double down, I'm very curious how Marvel and them handle this cultural problem,
right?
Because it's like there's that the comic book side, but then there's this like this they'll probably double down. They'll probably I can't see them like turning their back on Xochitl. That would be awful.
No.
Ooh, I'd like to know where the Latin X came from. Is it another thing like POC? I've never, because Scott was explaining to me earlier where that came from. Paula, do you know? Did it start from Hollywood, or is that?
No. Latin X can be just basically connected to Latino university. More uber progressive people. That wanted a term that's all inclusive, non-binary, anti-patriarchal, from a gendered language, and then from that it's grown into this. So what's interesting, every time someone tells me that they're Latinx or whatever, and I'm like, well, what does that mean to you?
Right.
What does it mean to you?
Right.
Because I know what Chicano means to me.
Right.
I know what American means to me. What does Latinx mean to you? And I always get a different answer.
What
that tells me? Go ahead, George.
No, I'm curious. What is there like let's say an average of what most people say when you ask that? What does it mean to them? Is there
good question, George?
A diversity and inclusion, and I'm like, and then I say, how is Latinos? How are we not already diverse and inclusive? That is a ridiculous definition.
How are Americans not already that way?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's ultimately the goal, right? Because we're all here in this country together, and I'm like, listen, your neighbor's white, my neighbor's German, my other neighbor's African American, Asian.
Yeah. And
we're
if
all
you
neighbors, man, what the fuck's wrong with you?
Well, and that's
grow up and be a good neighbor. Stop being a shit.
Break bread with people, man. You'll learn that we all have something in common. We all want our kids to have a better life than we did. We want to support them,
Paulie, I'll be in California in just a couple weeks, so I'm gonna hit you up.
I think we're going out of town that weekend.
I like that. Hey, you want to know something else that probably doesn't interest any of you, but I have to bring it up? My boy George R.R. Martin is not working on the books, but he wants you to know that his great Wild Cards is becoming a Marvel comic. So yeah, we got that to look forward to. So today he talked about that. On the 17th, he talked about House of the Dragon, and we're still not seeing the Winds of Winter, guys. So that's my one update for my George R.R. Martin update of the Saturday. So yeah, today that's all I got for you on George R.R. Martin.
I really admire your dedication too.
I'm never gonna give up. Never gonna give up. I got to call it short tonight, though, guys. I have to work tomorrow. I haven't had a day off since January, and I gotta get some sleep.
Oh, sorry.
George R. R. Martin.
Are you tattooing? What?
He got famous, right? He got his first blowjob, but now he's just
he's getting a lot of them now, man. I'd give him one to finish the books. I mean, what?
Have you ever seen an author like that who just refuses to?
Blowjob. Here comes Matt Martigan.
He didn't say blow up. He didn't say blow up.
Well, Matt has great.
That's it.
That's all he got for you, dude.
That's all you got for me, Matt.
I don't respond to these gay jokes anymore. They're so old.
anymore.
You're the one who talks about all the dicks you found in war.
It was one dick.
It's a lot of dicks. You said.
Wait a minute, you found a dick in war?
Yeah, he did. He found.
Then why is the title of your book Of Dicks in War?
Oh, that's good.
I thought it was Cock in the Grass.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the name of the story. Yeah, it's because we found a cock in the grass. Yeah.
Can you talk about the guy? Can you talk about the guy that got blowed up that was like half up in the tree?
He wasn't half up in the tree, but all we found was his cock.
Oh.
Please tell me this.
What about the guy that got blowed up that you found halfway up the tree?
Jesus Christ.
What is that, Paulie?
It's dryer.
Oh,
is that what it is? I thought maybe you're like being like, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes my water pump kicks on, but
is he living in a laundromat now?
No, well, we all have to find our offices somewhere. Yeah, guys.
I thought it was a tattoo parlor at first.
Oh, wow. Gary will start at nooner on time before Martin finishes the books. The only thing I have looking forward to House of the Dragon is, and I keep putting this out there publicly so Gary can't take it back, is that he'll be doing his right after the show live streams, which I'm going to be invited to.
Cool.
Yep. That's when I'm going to blow up and leave you all behind. Not you, Tom. You're big enough now. The rest of you, sorry.
Nobody likes me.
I love you. I'll use you as much as I can.
Nobody likes me either.
Look how pretty he is.
That's for sure.
I sent him a new picture. He's still using that old POS.
Hey, Mad, where's my my Kiwi Batman?
Oh, DDT, red leather, black leather.
Oh my God.
In Beatman.
Thank you.
Quarkus.
Wow, your hair's getting long, dude.
What's this shit? I'm being
It's not getting
replaced.
that long.
No, you're not being replaced. I'm sorry, Bat Tom.
Goddamn right.
I didn't know you were here. I would have never done that. I actually thought Bruce Wayne was coming on the show tonight.
He is a very handsome gentleman.
Do you ever read Super Chats, Scott?
Do we have more of them?
I don't know. There was one starred chat. Did you get it already?
Oh, let me see. Yes, I did talk about Mr. Grant Gregory thanking me for whitewashing the panel.
All right, I took care of it.
To be fair, that was
I look like I have jaundice in this picture. Jesus.
Let's see it. Is this the new picture?
Oh my God, I get it, Nick.
Did anybody see the new images of Twinkle Toes' Bruce Wayne? Was that because Tom? I was going to ask you, is that a body double? Because they were saying that's him, that he actually did work out. Because I thought Twinkle did
see the new picture. I mean, I know he did eventually work out.
Let's see, Batman.
But he was admitting at the time that he obviously wasn't working out yet.
Because he still.
I thought he said he was joking about it.
Why do I feel like I'm in a telegraph office all the time? I'm hearing these keyboards.
Oh, that was me this time. That was me this
earlier.
time. Yeah.
It's like that. I'm like, holy shit.
Sorry, that was me this time. And I'm
Walter
oh my
Cronkite,
God.
And this is the news.
I haven't seen the new photos of him, but okay.
It was on Screen Rant.
Okay, let's say this right here. I am hoping it is going to be a good movie. Anybody else?
I'm hoping, except for what he said last week when he gave that one interview. He was like, Batman. He says Batman is like a drug addict. He's on the edge. It's the one we're showing. Like he's addicted.
Well, I mean, he is addicted to it.
Everything he's been saying for the last 2 weeks about Batman has been nuts.
But he's trying to make him insane. This grunge insane.
Because he's trying to play himself in this film. Guy didn't even know that Batman is the world's greatest detective.
I know he didn't read any of the books. I don't understand none of the comics. How do you play Batman and not read?
He's a vampire. That's why. Andy McCallum for $2 pounds or £2 says pronounced McCallum, not McCallum. LOL. Love you, man. I love you too, McCallum. I love that.
It's McCallum. Why are you doing that to that dude?
It's McCallum.
No, it isn't.
I hate agreeing with Scott, but actually he's right on this one.
Thank you.
Try watching Highlander, motherfucker.
Yeah, what up? Did anybody hear about that?
Superman is playing McCloud.
Superman is playing Highlander. He took on Yeah.
You guys are only a year behind the fucking news. We dropped a video on this like a year ago.
Sorry, we're not Midnight's Edge.
They confirmed
No, you're not.
2 days ago.
Really?
Why can't I be on it, Paulie? Come on, let me get
By
it.
the way, Tom, clearly your views are not coming from this panel.
Listen,
okay.
Every time the thing is, Tom lets everyone in the back door. So just top to top.
I've been in the back door, and it's not that.
Because if Mad Martigan is on, it can be on Midnight's Edge After Dark. Then I don't know what.
I'm sorry, 8 months ago.
I know Andre likes me. Andre likes me.
Yep.
He says it at least to my face. So.
Hey, wait, Andre.
I don't understand that either.
I expect a level of excellence from Andre.
says
I see.
He likes me.
Let the man finish. He had a good joke. Paulie had a good joke.
Okay, let Paulie get his joke.
Well, you just killed it.
Wasn't
No,
me.
it's all right. It's all right.
Wasn't
I'm
me.
just saying,
It's not the first joke that's been killed on the panel tonight.
Oh, wow.
Nobody ever lets Paulie talk. Would you stop, Mr. Grant Gregory? God, check your
you're
privilege.
So talkative, Mr. Grant Gregory.
Check your privilege.
Hey, I'm holding my J card, so I'm a good.
Oh, okay. All right. Forgot about that.
Sorry,
Yeah.
ETAP.
And it's a +1, so I'm on that card.
Okay, anyways, we're going to finish it off with Tom. What do you got?
Just showing you 8 months ago.
Oh, okay.
I believe you.
Will,
I
no,
wasn't
you
here
have
8 months
Will.
ago.
There's
I
a
wasn't
Will
here.
in there. It says
Will
Will.
Henry Cavill have to choose between Highlander reboot and Superman? Yeah, because
Well, he didn't have to
already-
choose. They chose for him.
Yeah, basically.
Those fuckers.
I thought he appeared at the end of Peacemaker.
Not exactly. They
I haven't finished it
They
yet.
don't
Damn.
have his likeness rights.
Oh,
damn it! No, I don't care. That show sucks.
Holy shit! Vanilla Ice is here. I thought he was good.
Are you going to wrap
Yep,
us
yep.
out? Come on, Matt. I need a wrap.
Yep.
Ice,
sorry.
baby.
All right.
Ice, baby. I'm not gonna rap.
My name is Mad Chiavelli, and I'm here to say that the show is over. You have to catch it another day. Word to your mother.
Talking about
Okay.
those dicks that you found.
The dicks, yeah. I know. Geez.
I thought he was going to throw gay in there somewhere. Everybody, updated Sporking credits by Culture Casino. The first time in like 6 months. Thank you, Culture Casino. Bye, everybody. Say bye.
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 Paulie never got to say what he wanted to say.
Bisexual.
Well, Paulie, I knew where Paulie was going. Bye. What?
I don't.
He
I love
didn't
you.
say behind
Paulie,
you.
jump on anytime. Kick one of these guys out next time.
No,
Love you.
no OC bros, because somebody didn't watch the episode.
Freaking Yeti cast.
I picked this one.
I cut him off again. Damn it.
You didn't let Paulie finish.
I want Mexican representation, and I want it now.
You know,
Have you checked out that mark on your arm? You know, you need to go to a doctor.
Ryan was from Chino. He's basically representation, isn't he?
He is. Ryan is. Yeah, he's Latino
Ryan
adjacent.
Canals from Chino Hills.
Hey, I'm on there.